100Z and gearbox out. A lot of this was me. I guess that's why that wasn't giving me a very accurate reading. I'm looking pretty nice. But I'm going to walk you through how I did a FTE conversion in a 105 series Landcruiser. Righto, let's pick up where we left off, shall we? My one suggestion for ease of getting the engine into the Cruiser is to have at least one of the mounts already on the engine stand on the engine rather than both on the chassis rail. I've just lifted the Cruiser up on the hoist to do the rear main seal and clutch, and now realise that the rear main seal and clutch are all on the back seat of the Cruiser. So I've gone with the NPC 1300 Newton meter clutch. Now that comes with clutch discs, your pressure plate, thrust bearing, spigot bearing, and I got a flywheel as well. PDI will actually do exchange flywheels, so you can send your old one in and they'll send one back. That does work out to be a bit cheaper, but anyway, that's the kit we're installing. So I've picked up a new rear main seal. This was over $100 from Toyota. Definitely pays to do that while you're back here. Engine's got, 430,000 on it. I don't know if this has ever been changed. So it's not showing any signs of leaking or weeping really. But we're just going to pull it out anyway. So I've just put a wood screw in here and we're just going to get in here and have a bit of a lever. And I might need to put one in on the other side here too and just work it out. All right, so I gave this one here just a good lever and it just popped on out. So now we can pull that old rear main out. And then, new one in. All right, new rear main installed. And we just gently kind of press that in all square. Gave it a bit of a tap just to help it in the final bit, but we haven't crushed anything, so that's all good. Spigot bearing next. So you want to find a socket that kind of marries up with the metal bit around the edge, the outside of the bearing, not the soft bit in the middle. And then we're just going to press that into the point where it stops. The clutch kit didn't actually come with an alignment tool, so we had to get the 1HZ alignment tool out, thicken the input shaft diameter with some electrical tape, and shave back the splines because the FTE H151 box and the clutch I got actually has, I think it's 14 splines instead of 21 or something like that. And if you didn't already guess it, I will be putting a reconditioned H151 box into the Cruiser today. It's what came out factory behind the FTEs. It's so much stronger, so much bigger, as you can clearly see here, and it's going to handle the power that the FTE is going to make. I'm also putting the appropriate transfer case behind it. So the only difference I can really tell between these transfer cases is that one has the right amount of splines for the output shaft of the gearbox, and obviously the 1HZ one doesn't. I don't know if they're actually stronger internally or what, but we're going to put one in anyway. I was prepared for this to be a lot more of a struggle than it actually was. The reading I'd done online said that there was going to be possibly even some transmission tunnel manipulation involved in getting this H151 in. But really, it bolted in just as easily as the R-Box did. I understand it is a bigger gearbox, but there was no trouble at all really. It just went in really smoothly. I think I burnt a plug. Yep. Not shiny.
Hell yeah.
Shine door. Yep, that'll be good. Nice big gearbox under there. Not sure what model of 100 that this transfer case came out of, but I had to swap the selector shaft over. I also swapped the actuator over and a couple of the plugs because they'd been damaged in, I guess, the removal. A little bit rough. But once I'd done that, that one was just easy to put up and bolt in as well. If you want to support this build, support what directly supports me, which directly supports this build. I design and make blank plates and switch panels for specific places in your Landcruiser. They're made right here in South Australia and shipped out to you within a few days. Some of these blank plates or switch panels are for the climate control spot in your cruiser, for where the factory diff lock would normally be in some models, or over where the electric mirrors are in the GXL spot. I'm working on more and more all the time and would love to hear your ideas and feedback. If you have bought one, let me know what you think of it and recommend them to your friends. Just head over to what's linked up below in the description, www.willslandcruisermods.com.au. Nice shiny gearbox and transfer case that looks like it's been dragged down the back roads of Alice Springs. It's exhaust time, and you can thank Cameron again for this beauty. It's a 3-inch conversion exhaust, so it's made for a 105 series with an FTE. It's heaps thicker stainless than the PPD exhaust I had on previously, and Cameron did it for a pretty good deal, along with a heap of the other stuff that I got. So we'll be whacking that on right now. For those wondering, the 105 series 1HZ tail shafts fit up just fine. Now remember to replace, or at least have a good look at your fan belts. When the fan shroud's going in, you know you're on the homeward stretch. You'll need to change this top AC hose over for the 100 series one so it doesn't interfere with this intake pipe. Get your local mechanic to come out and gas down your system so you can do that. And then the 100s actually use a ribbed belt for the AC instead of a V-belt. So you'll need to change over the front of your air conditioner pump if you're still using the HZ one, and obviously the tensioner pulley as well. So as with any conversion, there's a couple of small things that have come up that we've had to adapt. This is the gear stick that I got for the H151 box. It's wrong. It's a 105 series one, but of course some people don't know the difference between a 100 series and a 105. So we're going to try and find a 100 series one. The difference is this groove here is about 3 or 4 mil thicker for the H151, and I reckon the whole little, I don't know what you call that, this piece of metal down here, this locator bush, I don't really know. Anyway, that is bigger on the H151s as well, as opposed to the R boxes. So we have to swap that out so that that's actually going to select gears, fit in the box and select gears. For the NPC 1300 Newton meter clutch to engage, you will need a JB4234 slave cylinder. You might notice that the clutch line actually goes into the slave cylinder in a different spot, so there were hassles around getting the line to reach. So I've really got two choices with this clutch situation here. I can either organise an extended clutch line. I don't even know if you can get them, or we just manipulate this bracket a bit so that it pulls closer to the slave cylinder. So that's what we're going to have a crack at tonight. We might try and just bend that ever so slightly the other way. We're going to be mindful of the hard lines here. We don't want to have them kinked or bent wrong. But I might just bend that up a little bit and possibly shorten this so that it brings it back a bit. So I've kind of just cut and shortened this. It's real messy, but hopefully I'm just going to be able to just chuck that in and hopefully manipulate those lines a little bit very carefully. And this soft hose might reach around to where the slave cylinder mounts properly. All right, I tell you what, I'm so much happier with the angle on that than what it was. If you can see that clutch line in there, it was pulled right out straight and kinked before, so shortening that bracket and adjusting that a bit has really made a world of difference. You can see my bracket there, so we've just shortened that quite significantly, adjusted a little bit, and yeah, happy days. All right, pump. Hold. Yeah. Pump. Hold. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah, it might be right. Maybe even more. All right, well, there's only one way to test it. Coming up, we've got some wiring to do. A fair bit of troubleshooting involved when it comes to wiring like this. And will it even start? And now no fuel again. Come on. Where's that even coming from? Oh God.